digi manyarare Bazikana manyarare Bakamana manyarare Banamai manyarare Banabana manyarare 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 Zimbabwe manyarare Inokondwa tonyarara Inobirwa tongopera mai Vanorepa tonyarara mai Vanosunga tongopera mai Zimbabwe manyarare Diaspora manyarare Zimbabwe manyarare Zimbabwe manyarare Harare manyarare Uruwayo manyarare Utoko manyarare Tariba manyarare Uganda manyarare Iyapinge manyarare Kalwani manyarare Iyura manyarare Inobirwa zongopera mai Inokondwa tongonyarara mai Inokondwa tonyarara mai
I think you are muted, Leader More Blessing. Can you?
How can you let me speak? And ndandichishandisa mavhoko akanyanya kusimba chacho anozwa kuti vhoko kana rikauya haridzorereki. Ndandiri serious pakushandisa mavhoko iwe uchindisiya ndiri muted. Our viewers and listeners, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We welcome you to this program where we discuss 22 years of fighting. 22 years of fighting. And we want to hear from the MDC people what they have done, what are they doing, what's happening, and we want to. They are celebrating their existence for 22 years, and we say welcome MDC Alliance, Comrade Rico, wherever you are, we welcome you into this program and greet our viewers and listeners.
Thank you, everyone. We want to welcome you to the program. And of course, as Sister Mobi is saying, the Alliance is going to be 22 years tomorrow. It didn't begin as MDC Alliance, but now it is MDC Alliance. So it will be 22 years in the movement, 22 years of fighting ZANUPF, 22 years in the struggle. It's been a long time now. And I was hoping our guest, Chief Shoshe, will be here soon so that we can begin discussing with him. But I saw his... he just dropped out. I think it's his network or something like that.
No, he's around. He's waiting to get in to be in the program. So Chief Shoshe is going to be with us in a moment, and just keep waiting. It's just a few seconds, and we are with him in the next few minutes. It's not network, but aunt cannot introduce zvibaba zvinouyawo kazvinhu zvese zvarongeka, and I know we are set, and any minute we receive him. Tikungoti karuzhinji rwezimbabwe manyararireiko, ndo meseji yavuri kupiwa neMDC Alliance, anzi manyararireiko muchirega muvenga achipinda. So I want to welcome our leader, Comrade Chief Shoshe. Shoshe makadi.
Tripo mana makadi leader, makadi muri Zimbabwe yakacherera. Rico, how are you?
I'm well, Chief. Tatsikwa nemadzishe apinda mumusha.
Saka Rico tinofana kunge tichiziva kumhurisa madzishe. Tinoombera Chief Shoshe. Madzishe anoomberwa katatu pakuti. Handisi.
Yes.
Makuti pasa manyemwe.
Yes.
Kondo chivanhu chedu hatirasika chivanhu. Chero kwatinoenda tinofana kuziva kuti madzishe anoomberwa sei. Paise pagungano rinoitika, madzishe ane nzira yawo yaanoomberwa. Tikakanganisa kukuomberai Chief, kana manzwi anobuda mumuromo menyu ninge musisina kufemerwa, because tinenge tikaombera pachivanhu chaicho toziva kuti vanotaura vanenge vari ivo madzishe akakugadzai pachigaro chamugere. Saka ndo zvatete tichida kuti imimi mutidzidzise zvakatikoshera zvenyika yedu, ndosaka takukokai pano inini ndinongori mutumwa ndakagara zvangu ndichikuchingamidzai kuchirongwa chiri kuda kuitwa pano chamangwana chekukorokotedza MDC kupikisa kwemakore 22 pasina kana kutsuduruka. Comrade Zviko, inini handina simba rekupinda mukati menyaya dzacho. Ini chandingori pano ndechekungokukumikidzai kuti mukurukure naChief Svosve. Chief Svosve, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Chief Svosve, we know that tomorrow is going to be 22 years since the struggle for the democratic Zimbabwe started. And we understand that you are one of the people who have been with the struggle for a very long time, and you have been in the diaspora. So today, our main focus is going to be on the diaspora, the 22 years of the movement in the diaspora, not at home. There's a separate program that will be there tomorrow, where we'll be talking about that. So we want to hear about the movement in the diaspora. So we prepared a few questions for you so that we can discuss. The first question is like, can you tell us about the history of the movement in the diaspora? By movement, I mean the MDC, specifically the MDC alliance led by President Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Can you tell us the history of this movement in the diaspora?
Well, thank you very much, Zviko, and more blessing for that. Indeed, it has been 22 years of sweat, blood, and hard work. And it has been a very long walk. And that's why Nelson Mandela says it's a long walk to freedom. Other people have given up in those 22 years. And also in those 22 years, we have lost thousands of MDC followers. Over 3,000 people have been killed in politically motivated violence by ZANUPF. And it's very sad. And that's the reason why we cannot give up, even though it has been 22 years. Because a lot of people have said that it has been a long time. Why is it that MDC has not taken power? You know, it took decades for us to take power from the Smith regime, and a lot of lives were lost. And there's no difference from the struggle that we are waging today. We have lost people. We continue to lose people. A lot of people have lost limbs. Some have been maimed. Some have been emotionally maimed. Some have been arrested several times, countless times. Even myself, before I came to the diaspora, I know you want me to talk about the MDC Alliance in the diaspora, but we cannot also not talk about what happened before that. We didn't just wake up in the diaspora. We didn't just wake up, forming the party or party structures here in the diaspora. Personally, I was at Masvingo Teachers College when the movement was born, and I remember it was room 22, Mtirikwi, where we were just called by, one of our lecturers, Mr. Mangono. He was our English lecturer there, and he briefed us as to what was happening in Bulawayo and in Harare. We had heard the rumors of a new party that was coming up from the likes of Job Scala, Honorable Tendai Biti, and the late Lenmo Jongwe, because we're in the student movement together. As a vice president of the SRC, I would also attend some ZANUPF meetings. So there was a mooting of a new political party coming up. So it was whispers, and then we got into that room in room 22, and Mr. Mangono addressed us. This is what is happening, guys, and as students, you're going to be, very instrumental. You're going to be part of this. You have to be part of this movement. It was scary, because we were young, and we thought should we be doing this, or should we just concentrate on our books, get our college diplomas, and you go and teach? Things were not as bad as they are today then. So after discussions, we started spreading the message to other students, in Mashingo Teachers College, Morgan Star, Harare Poly, Mashingo Poly, and then the headquarters was Mashingo teachers. All the others would come from other teachers' colleges and would gather at Mashingo Teachers College. Our point person was Mr. Mangono, who later became the first member of parliament in Mashingo Urban. We were campaigning for him, and cut a long story short, when everything started, we would go and mobilize. In the course of mobilizing and in the course of demonstrations, we were arrested, thrown in remand prison in Mashingo, Kwamcheko. But it wasn't as bad as that. You would be released when you pay bail. Nowadays, you don't get released when you pay bail. So after that, I moved to when I graduated and taught for some time in Mashingo Rural, where ZANUPF was really dominant. But we continued spreading the word of change during that time in those rural areas. And we were targeted because ZANUPF would be saying, you guys, you are the teachers. You are the ones that are telling the people here in the rural areas what is going on. And
Chief Soshe, sorry to cut you off. Maybe I don't know whether you are a little bit away from your mic or something. Maybe if you can come closer, our viewers and listeners can hear you better.
Okay. Yeah. So after we spread the word of the struggle in the 2001, 2002. I was teaching in the rural areas in Mashingo. Got beaten up by the war veterans there. Mashingo was a ZANUPF stronghold. It had never been heard of that you could go to Mashingo and speak opposition politics. Even ZAPU and the other political parties that were there before the MDC could not make inroads. But we did manage to make inroads, and we delivered the first member of parliament for Mashingo. After that, I went to Botswana. In Botswana, that was the start of my diaspora politics. There wasn't much going on in Botswana. We had to start everything from scratch. I became the leader for the Zimbabwe teachers in Botswana. There were a lot of teachers that were teaching in Botswana then, and I was sitting on that teacher's desk on the MDC desk, and with the likes of Rizin Machengere, I think he's now in civic society there in Zimbabwe, Dread Reckless, but that was the time he also came to Botswana, and many others. So we started that branch in Botswana, and we worked for 10 years. I think our biggest highlight was the Go Home and Vote campaign in Botswana that we did. We hired buses, we mobilized the people in Zimbabweans in Botswana to go and vote during the 2008 elections. And it was very successful. So after that, fast forward, we are here in America, coming here in 2011. I came to a state as a student where there was no MDC alliance activity at all. The MDC had already started here back then, with the likes of Lamada, our organizing secretary, and Varuzito, who is now our vice chairperson, provincial. And when I came in North Dakota and Minnesota, nobody knew about MDC. So we started working from scratch, to start the branch of North Dakota and Minnesota. Now it has become one of the strongest branches in North America, and we are still here.
Chief, our viewers are complaining about the sound. I don't know what we can, because even myself, I'm struggling to hear you. I don't know.
Maybe let me go out and come back.
Okay.
Okay, so whilst we are waiting for Chief to come back, I can just briefly say what he was talking about. He's talking about his involvement in the people's struggle, how he started in room 22 at Mashingo Teachers College, how after hearing what was being done by other comrades who were in other colleges like Lenmo Jongwe and others, how they started mobilizing and managed to win the first MP seat in Mashingo for their lecturer, who was like the point person of the party. Then after that, he then went to Botswana, where there was no movement, and there were a lot of teachers there, and he became like the chairman of the Zimbabwean teachers in Botswana. Then after that, he then went to the United States, where he went to North Dakota and Minnesota, where he started a new MDC branch. Though the movement was already started in North America, but that branch, there was no activity. So basically, that's in brief what he was sharing with us. Chief, are you back? Can you hear?
Yes, Chief is back loud and clear. Chief Koshe, you can continue with your narration. Thank you very much for joining us again. But there's a background noise, but I don't know what it is. If you can speak, we can tell whether we can hear you loud and clear or not. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but I'm also hearing a lot of noise from your side as well. I don't know whether it's my phone, my gadget, or it's
That noise is coming from your gadget.
wow. How would that be? Huh. Can you hear me now though?
Yes, with a little bit of background, but you can go ahead. You can deal with it. We are getting used to the sound.
Yeah, but that's not good though. That's not good. Um,
Hmm.
can we? I don't know what we can do, because I'm also hearing disturbing noise, and if that is what everyone is hearing, then that's not good.
Yeah, it's actually your background. I don't know what it is. It may be, but earphones, I know they can worsen the situation. Maybe you can lower the volume from your. Are you in a car or something? Speak now. Can you speak now?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
We can, but with a little bit, but we can do with it. Please go ahead.
Okay, all right. So we then started the North Dakota, Minnesota branch here. I think when we started, it was just the three of us, and after that, we began to recruit. That's why I said, it has been 22 years of sweat, because it's not easy to start a branch from scratch. It's not easy to bring people to the movement, especially people that are in comfort, living in the comfort zone of the diaspora, people that have their own jobs, people that have money already, they have all the basic necessities that they need. You would need to be very convincing to get people to be part of you. But we struggled through 2012 up to today. Like I said earlier, North Dakota branch has grown big. It's now one of the strongest branches of North America province. And coming to provincial politics, it's still the same thing that you experience at branch level, that you meet at provincial level, that you're trying to build a province in countries, because North America consists of Canada and the USA. You're trying to build a party in the diaspora where people are living in comfort. It's a daunting task because the motivation is very low for you to convince people to come and start doing politics. Some were not even involved in politics in Zimbabwe. You're talking to people that don't even know who the vice president of the MDC alliance is. You know, you're talking to people who, if you ask them who is Joanna Mamombe, they can't even tell you who's Joanna Mamombe. And let alone you ask them about the party ideology or what the MDC alliance stands for. And the people should be patient. This satanic beast quote. Okay, I thought it was about the noise. So you know, it becomes a daunting task. But we have soldiered through, and North America now is you know, a very big membership. We about 300-400 people that are part of the movement here. There are not many Zimbabweans, of course. So you can't compare North America with the likes of the United Kingdom and Australia. So of the three MDC alliance provinces, in North America can be, you know, it's obviously the smallest. South Africa is huge because we have a large contingent of Zimbabweans there. South Africa has always been very, you know, vociferous, very strong in terms of supporting the struggle. People are close at home, so they get to hear information more, and they go into Zimbabwe and they experience the suffering, you know, in Zimbabwe. So that motivates people to want to be involved in the struggle, especially in South Africa. Going to the United Kingdom has always been the stronghold of the MDC alliance in terms of support, in terms of the numbers. You know, it's we have many Zimbabweans because of our historical background that we were a colony of the British. Most people found their way to Britain. So we have many Zimbabweans there, over 1 million Zimbabweans. So the movement started a lot earlier in the United Kingdom, and we have more members of the MDC alliance in the United Kingdom than in America, and it's also, I think, to do with the geography of the United Kingdom. People can easily meet in the United Kingdom. Their cities are closer to each other, whereas here in America, for me to visit someone who is in a neighboring state, I have to drive like 15 hours, 18 hours. Like now I'm preparing to go to the demonstration in New York. Someone who is flying from the United Kingdom will get to New York faster than me who is in America, you know, because it's just too wide a country. Mm-hmm. Someone who is in the United Kingdom can buy a cheaper ticket, you know, to come to New York than myself, you know. So the geography of the United Kingdom makes it very, you know, attractive and possible for Zimbabweans to be meeting occasionally and having physical meetings. We can't have physical meetings here in America because it means you're asking people to buy tickets of upward to $200 or $300 every time you want to meet. So we do virtual meetings most of the time, and whenever possible, like when we go to the demonstration in New York, 18 September, we have our consultative forum on Friday, where we'll sit down and talk with Zimbabweans. It's a Zimbabwe consultative forum where we are inviting all Zimbabweans to be there. They come, we talk, we brainstorm ideas, and then on Saturday we have our big demonstration, the United Nations demonstration. And then after the demo, we're not going back to our hotels. We are converging at one hotel where we are going to have a dinner and a provincial council meeting. And then, you know, people can, you know, have fun, meet for the first time. Because of COVID, people were not meeting. So, you know, that's the only time we get to meet. As, you know, yes. Like now, if you put to the United Kingdom, the cities are closer together. You can easily call for people to meet maybe once a month. But generally, that has been the progression of activism in the diaspora. Now, but of
Yes,
course,
yes.
of late, we have seen the emergence of our branches and districts in places like Australia. We now have a large contingent of our membership there in Australia. With German has come up. It has become one of our strongest provinces. I mean districts or branches. It now takes Europe and all the countries around it. And then we also have the MDC Alliance, very very vibrant in Asia, in which we call the Middle East branch. We have a lot of Zimbabweans that are across the Asian continent. We have members in Afghanistan. We have members in Dubai. And they also do virtual meetings because of the distance between them. So, and of course, Zambia. I can't leave out Zambia. It's a branch that is under South Africa. South Africa takes Zambia, Namibia, and Botswana. They are all under South African province. But Zambia is we have been talking about Zambia in the past 2 weeks. It's going to be very crucial. It's going to be very strategic. And in the past 2 weeks, we've seen members, Zimbabweans that are in Zambia, joining our Zambian branch. It has become very popular because of our HH's victory. Our branch has grown in leaps and bounds. I'm in constant touch with the people in Zambia, and they're saying people are joining. And of course, I cannot forget Namibia, one of our most vibrant branches. If you talk of Namibia, you quickly know and remember Rundu branch. It's very vibrant on social media. You see statements, countless statements. The communication secretary, they write statements like nobody's business. So the MDC Alliance is almost like everywhere in the diaspora. Let's hope we'll begin to make our numbers count in as far as change is concerned in Zimbabwe. We want to see a situation where Zimbabweans in the diaspora can come together, converge, and influence change in Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Yes. So thank you so much, Chief, for the history that you talked about. One of the most interesting facts that you talked about is about you being in room 22. Did I hear you well? That your struggle started in room 22 with your lecturer or something like that?
Yes, it started in Masvingo, at Masvingo Teachers College. Like I said earlier, it was his name is Mangono. He's now with the other faction.
Yes.
But he was a very influential man. He was an English lecturer, and he easily managed to galvanize the student population, not only at Masvingo Teachers College. His influence was felt at Masvingo Technical College, Bondofi Teachers College, Morgenstad Teachers College. He coordinated, but most of the running after he introduced the MDC to us back then in 1998, 99.
Yes.
We took over. We're now doing the running around.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you. It was just interesting that this is the 22nd anniversary and your struggle started in room 22 as well. So, there is a lot of 22 that was going on. So I just wanted to confirm. So, Chief, so is the participation of the diaspora just historic?
Zico, I just want to note the coincidence of 22.
Yes.
For Chief, it started in the room 22.
Yes.
And now it's 22 years.
Yes.
That I don't want to call it a coincidence, but Chief, imi muri veushe kana takutaura zvecoincidence kwamuri hazviapply, tetakutaura kuti zvine chirevo. ndaona chirevo chichitaurwa pakuti it happened in room 22 years ago. Now it's 22 years in the line. And it should mean something to you. Maybe we are provoking something which is not in your line of thinking, but we want you to come to terms with this kind of coincidence, which we are not viewing as coincidence. What do you think? What can you comment about? It happened 22 years ago in room 22, and now it's 22 years of fighting.
Yeah, I mean,
Just briefly.
I was losing you, so I didn't quite get what you asked.
So can you get me, Chief? I can ask the question again. Can you get me, Chief?
Chief,
Yeah,
can you
I
hear
Uh-huh. Okay. So the question was, is it just a coincidence that you started the struggle in the room 22 years ago, and now it is 22 years down the line? That's what she was asking.
Oh, okay. I don't even notice the coincidence there. I mean, yeah. So I think that means that we are getting to the end of this struggle, and it has to come to an end.
Yes.
We have to bring it to its logical conclusion.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that, Chief. Then we'll go to the other question. We had a lot of history, and we believe that the diaspora was playing an active role in the politics of the land. Is this just a historical activity? Did the party only, or did the diaspora play a part only in historical times? Or right now, the diaspora also has a very significant role to play in the current political landscape?
That's a very good question. You know, I've always said that the diaspora has to be and must be considered as an equal partner in our struggle, because this has been very prevalent in the history of all struggles, that there are some people that will be inside the country that are in the trenches, and then there are some people that support from outside. Even if you look at our first, our second Murenga, you see that there were people that were in UK, that were in Russia, in China, in countries that were supporting our guerrilla warfare, which was our Chimurenga. And those people were critical in the provision of the much needed resources. You cannot wage a successful liberation struggle without resources. Resources are an essential component of any struggle. And the diaspora, modern day diaspora, is well placed to do that. You know, and they shouldn't be this sometimes animosity that I see between the people on the ground who will be saying, Tripa ground is also. You know, I think everything has shifted now. How things have changed. Ground rajura social media, ground rajura UK, ground rajura South Africa. So I think it's high time we consider ourselves, as equal partners, and people are also in the diaspora get considered to be equal partners in the struggle. But you don't get to be an equal partner, before you put in your effort, you put in your capital. So it's an encouragement. It should be an encouragement to the people in the diaspora to come out strongly, support the struggle, in a more vociferous manner than we are doing now. We are doing well, we are doing good, but I'm just saying we could be doing better. Because look, we have 4.5 million Zimbabweans that are in the diaspora. Are all the 4.5 million involved? I can tell you that only a third, if not less, is involved. If we had 1 million people in the diaspora that are prepared to support the struggle, this struggle would be much lighter. This struggle would be much cheaper. This struggle would be much easier, because we just contribute $1 each a month, and we have $1 million, and we can fund any voter registration program, any voter education program, any programs that we want to have in Zimbabwe. But unfortunately, that has not been the case. It has been very, very frustrating to get everyone involved in the diaspora. I know people give excuses that takadyiwa mari yakazodai. There are better ways of doing it now. You can be part of this struggle without giving anyone money. If you want to sponsor T-shirts, you don't have to send someone money to go and get the T-shirts. You just send the money to your printer, the printer of your choice, and then the person who receives the money prints the T-shirts, and then your constituents can go and pick up from there. You can do the same thing with printing stationery, printing flyers, printing posters, banners, and all other things. You can pay directly to the person that is providing the service, and then the people in Zimbabwe can go and pick up. So I don't listen anymore to the conclusion that people are not participating in the struggle because they are afraid of losing their money, or that someone will misappropriate whatever they have sent. There are ways of going through that. Our experience here has shown us that you can send money or send support in a countless manner, because that has been in the archives here. But and then they don't want to participate in the struggle. I think we can do better as diaspora, and then when we do that, we can demand our 50% stake in the struggle, that we should be taken seriously, that we should be taken as 50% shareholders in the struggle, because it's our country. We are doing this because we love it, and you don't love your country less when you're in America. You don't love your country less when you're in Britain. We still love our country, and we want to help it move forward and move away from the struggles we have today.
Yes. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief, for reminding our listeners and our hosts that you don't love your country less because you are in the diaspora. And maybe I can say you actually love it more because you miss your home, and you have seen the world, and you want to, you have seen like cities that work. That's why the people can say that we dream of bullet trains, of spaghetti roads. These are things that you have seen wherever you are. Then after that, you wish that to be in your own country, in your homeland. So it means you can actually love your country more when you're outside. Right. So thank you for that point, Chief. The next question that we want to ask you, we have heard that you are going to be in Twitter Spaces tomorrow with the MDC Alliance Europe to discuss the history of the struggle, something like what we are doing today. Can you tell us a bit about that program, about what you wish to talk about or to discuss about tomorrow in such a program?
And Chief, you are not supposed to preempt if you don't want to, but if you want to, then it's okay. You can give just hints of what you would want to talk about tomorrow.
Okay.
And not necessarily that to preempt what you are going to talk about, because it's your right to protect your speech. because we really want to hear about a lot tomorrow, and I'm sure you are going to deliver a lot tomorrow. So maybe you can just give us highlights.
Yeah, I think it's important that we talk about the history of our party, the history of our struggle. Many times we see people trying to rewrite history, and it's because it will not be documented. And one way now of making sure that people understand the history of their party is to have these discussions on social media so that people know where we're coming from, where we came from, where we are now, where we're going. And I want to believe that the discussion tomorrow on Twitter Spaces will be very healthy, will be very educative, and we are doing it at the same time, or at almost the same time, when the entire MDC family will be, in Bulawayo. As we are speaking right now, the leadership and most of the leaders across the country, they are all driving, they're all traveling towards Bulawayo, where the MDC Alliance will celebrate its 22nd birthday. And it's a good thing that will be on Twitter here to just augment and support what they're doing on the ground. It's important that we all log in tomorrow. We encourage you to log in so that you hear more about the party history. I'm sure there will be a lot of people and part of our leadership, some supporters, because a party is not just for the leaders, it's not just for the members. A party is also, in existence because of the people that just support it. The MDC Alliance is slightly over 1 million members. That these are the registered members with the MDC Alliance. But you see, when we go for elections, you saw President Chamisa, garnering 2.6 million votes. It means more than 1.4 million people are supporters. They are not members, but they are supporters. Those people are important. We need to give them their space. We need to be with them. We need to appreciate them. You don't have to be wearing red for you to be considered Mchinja or to be part of the movement. You don't have to be doing the Chinja slogan for you to be considered part of the movement. You can be part of the movement as a supporter, just doing what you can, maybe just talking about MDC wherever you are, and then most importantly, going to register to vote, and then eventually voting after that. So we regard everyone as important. And I think the Twitter space will also help us reach out to those people that are sitting on the fence. There are people that don't know where they should be. We will reach out to them through Twitter space, and tomorrow's program, I think, is just the beginning of many programs to come. I know Europe has already hosted another program on Twitter. We encourage you to be there every week. Don't come today and then you don't come tomorrow, and then we see you after 2 months. This is just a word of advice. Be consistent. If you want to be, if you want people to know about you and you want to reach out to many people, be consistent. Be on Twitter every Saturday. And if you say you're going to be there at 2 p.m., be there at 2 p.m. every Saturday. Then you begin to build your listenership from there. And I think it will be very helpful. So I look forward to the discussion tomorrow. I think it will enlighten and educate a lot of people who don't know much about the MDC Alliance.
Yes, thank you, Chief. I've been made to understand that the Twitter spaces have already been scheduled for 7 p.m. tomorrow. So I'm sure that the MDC Alliance Europe will be there with you. The membership in Europe will be there supporting, and they'll be there to listen to the history. What I can say is when you come, don't forget to tell people about Room 22. We need that story about room 22. It's one of the most interesting stories. That it's 22 years, and we had someone who was in room 22 when the movement started.
Thank you, thank you. You mentioned room 22. I don't know what had happened to your network. You said room, so it sounded like room 2, but it's actually room 22.
Two, yes. So that
Ndombi
story.
dzakatangira.
Mm. So, so
My
that is story, Chief. It goes come from a chief. So you need to give us that story tomorrow. We need it, Chief. Those were the questions that we had for you, Chief, about the history of the movement in the diaspora. Because usually when people are talking about the history of the movement, they talk about the movement in the country. They talk about the stalwarts that are known in the country. But sometimes they forget the struggle that is also going on out there. Like you were saying, there are millions of Zimbabweans in the United Kingdom. All these people, or some of these people, are involved in the struggle. They've funded the struggle. They've been part of the struggle. Some of them have gone back home to contest in elections and are in positions of leadership and responsibility right now, coming from the external assemblies. So the struggle that is happening in the diaspora should also be known as part of the anniversary celebrations. It shouldn't be just what is happening at home. That's why you talked about hosting virtual meetings where you can't meet physically because of geography. It's the same thing with the European branch. For instance, there are 26 countries in the EU, and for all the people to come together in one place, it's just like what happens in the US, but the Europe is actually smaller than the US. So we can understand the struggle of having physical meetings. So what I can ask you as a question is, what advice or what steps did you take as the North American province for you to get recognition, for you to get endorsed as a province, so that if we have Middle East and it also wants to be a province like North America, they know what they do. Also, whilst you're on that, tell us the members who are in the diaspora or people who are in the diaspora who want to join the movement in the United States, in Europe, in South Africa. How do they join you? You said there are 400 people in the US. Instead of being 400, maybe there are 1,000 or 5,000 people. How can you recruit more people in the US? How can they join you if they are listening right now?
Motion overruled. Chief, before you answer, motion overruled, because I feel that is too provincial. Yes, as much as we can have to share notes, but we must understand the fact that we have here on this live show, it's not like we have family in this show. Kunanzi kana takarogwa pabarikwa, kana mai vedu kana vakarogwa pabarikwa, kune vekwamai guru nevekwamai nini, ende hatizivi kuti vekwamai nini vakateererei, vekwamai guru vakateererei, isi vepi. Saka that kind of question, Chief, I'm not allowing you to answer that kind of question. I'm sorry. I know you have answers, and you could be so willing to give them, but I will not allow you to give them to the public, because I feel that it's kind of your I can't say personal, kana kuti ndataura nyaya yekwamai guru ndezvimba menyu imimi vekwamai nini, kana kuti vekwamai guru, kana kuti ndimi vekwamanyachide here, kana kuti ndimi mazodini, ndimi mukadzi wechi5 ameno, asi mundi inyaya yenyu yemumba menyu iyoyo. munongoidhiskasira mumba menyu nokuti hatizivi kuti isusu vekwamaiguru maziva kuti takarongei.
Yes. Yeah, because started out at least chief vaudze vanhu kuti how do they join the movement kana vari kwavari, because vanogona kunge vasina details ekuti vanozvifambisa sei. Should they contact you as Change Radio kuti vakwanise kuregister kuti vabatane neNorth America kana kuti tongoisiya yakadaro?
No, that's a very good question, Chief is gone. But about Trukuti, anyone who wants to join Change Radio in North America, in Europe, in what, if you come to Change Radio and say, I'm North America, I want to join Change Radio, I want to join what, we can help you. Isusu basa redu manje harisise kuti kwai imimi muriwe kwavaiguru kana kuti muriwe kwamainini. Basa redu ndokungokuplesai kwenyu. Kuti imika muriwe kwamaiguru, vekwamaiguru vanogara uku, wekwanyachide uku, imimiwo muchangoya mumusha munogara panapa. Ndo basa redu. Hatina zvakawanda asi chief diver varipo vakupindirai, but vatsvedza nenyaya yenetwork, I think.
Network yavo iri kunetsa. Yeah, so we want to thank you. Those are the questions that we had for our chief. We hope that tomorrow he will be with us and he will share a lot.
Elaborate on those questions if people happen to ask more questions. So Change Radio, on behalf of Change Radio, Leader Estella, are you there? Leader Estella. Okay. So our viewers and listeners, we thank you very much for being with us at this hour, at this moment. What we are doing is commemorating 22 years of opposing the ruling party, and the ruling party on its heels and knees trying to dodge the law. But my viewers, we say you two are doing good as it is. Don't worry about Chief, please. Okay, and thank you very much. We just wanted Chief to elaborate, but this is General Kayemba. General, thank you very much for your compliment. We appreciate. What we wanted to do was to let the chief finish his speech, his compliments to you guys, because it has to go unnoticed, the job you guys are doing. Some of you are contributing financially, some of you are contributing physically. What I want is all those we can, let's book our tickets to go back to our country and register to not register and vote. We can register to vote online, or what you can do. I myself, I checked and I realized Kuti, at this station I'm registered, so which is good. So now I have to work on how should I get there to vote, because it is my obligation. So for those who can vote, guys, that one vote is very important, and let's value it. It's very important, and we place it at a rightful position so that it can count. Zico, I thank you so much for coming to this program. And I want you to tell these people, why would you want them to come to your program today, tomorrow or today? Yeah, tomorrow. Why would you want people to come to your program? Why?
Yeah.
Why should they join that program anyway? Tell them.
Okay, so I encourage you all to go and join the MDC Alliance Europe Twitter Spaces for very obvious reasons. For example, if there is a birthday or a celebration or a function, it is part of Ubuntu. It's ndo zvinoitwa nevanhu pachivanhu kuti unobatana unochema nevanochema uchifara nevanofara. So tomorrow MDC Europe is going to be celebrating and happy. So vane vachifara. So you come mufara nevanofara. But the other thing is we need people to know the history of the movement, because there's a tendency by many people to recreate history, putting facts that suit them, not necessarily facts that are on the ground. So it's a place where you can come and hear from various people or various stakeholders how the movement traveled from day one on 11 September 1999 up to today, or up to today, which is coming in an hour's time. So those are the main reasons why you should come. And also our guests, there will be a lot of guests who will be speaking. There's you have already seen Chief. He has come and he has talked to us, just priming himself for tomorrow's main event. So today, what you heard is just the small part of the story. Tomorrow, we are not focusing on diaspora. We are focusing on the whole history of the alliance. And during the day, the MDC Europe has promised that they will be sharing a lot of historical facts on their Twitter handle. So you can follow throughout the day. Then the climax of the whole day is going to be on the 7 p.m. program that they are going to host in the evening. So that's what I can say, sister.
Thank you very much, Rico, for this enlightening and informative information. Thank you very much. So our viewers and listeners, we have heard him. MDC Alliance, they have a celebration which they feel like is 22 years old. So we have questions which you guys should ask them. Why 22 years old? In 1999, we didn't have MDC Alliance. In 2000, no, don't answer me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bother answering me, my brother. In 2004, 2005, we didn't have such. So the question is, after 2008 or before 2008, when we were going to Condest, we had MDC Alliance. Who formed it? Who initiated it? That's not our business. The fact is, people conveyed together and they had a same vision. So our question now is, where is that vision now? You can help us answer it tomorrow on your Twitter spaces. Or what we want someone to follow who has a vision. So what kind of vision do you guys have? As much as we say our literacy rate has fallen, that doesn't mean that we no longer have intellectuals. So we say one love. Love one another. Let's learn to love one another no matter what. Kumba kwedu togara tichitaura chiti rudo harutengeswi. You don't buy love. Because rudo nungo really volunteered. But as much as we all know, love can be sold. Purchased. So we're going to hear from MDC Alliance tomorrow. How they become MDC Alliance. So chakakosha kudanana. Chakakosha kunguva pamwe. When we respect each other. When we can be there for each other when we need each other. Zvinonzi dananai pachenyu. Our viewers and listeners, like I said, tomorrow we are going to have prominent people to address us. Right now, at this juncture, I'm welcoming one of our prominent female leaders. When I talk about females, my smile come like Lila Babsi, we were discussing na Chief Shoshe kuti todini tichikurukura kuti mangwana is a very good day so that they can discuss. Little Babsi has fallen. She's coming away. So I'm going to welcome her and give her a moment to say things. So Pache Dant. Lily Babsi, welcome to the program. Our one and only female resolute comrade. We respect you. And please address these people.
Where are we? On Twitter Spaces?
No, we're not on Twitter Spaces. We're still on our Change Radio Facebook. We're advocating for our tomorrow's Twitter Spaces. Tiri kuinvita vanhu kuti ngavauye vanzwemo saka hamusi kuita preempt munongoita gggg tumapoints tezvamuchada kuzotaura nezvazvo mangwana ruzhinji kwezimbabwe rwakateerera tichiseva tichivadzivisa kuti zviri kufanira kunge zvichifamba sei.
Okay.
Toti makadiko vachifedza chief tavaombera mukoma sviko.
Yes, sister.
Ava ndivachifedza vezamuguru vakangoita seni vakatakura zvisingaiti saka vanoomberwawo nenzira yavowo chief tavaombera nenzira yavewo mamba ava ndo vakaita kuti vana vachivi vana vashumba vari kwachivi vazoshamisirawo vachidomiramirawo but ndo varidzi veumambo saka tinovaombera chiti muchindibatsira imi bhuti ikoko vadiko vachifedza
makadiko vachifedza
ndekuno
tokuchingamidzai vachifedza tikati zvinogona kunge zviri zvechirungurungu asi tikati vana venyu zvisukuru zvenyu zvizive nzira zvakafamba nazvo kuti tigozovawo pano hakusi kuda kwavo kana kungwara kwavo, asi maitungamira kamasango acho. Makabereka mucheche muchimumwisa ari kumusana, muchimanya muri muhondo, hakusi kugona kwenyu kana kungwara kwenyu, asi ivo vanasaredzira zvanzi dzenyu ndo vaikutungamirai. Makwera sei vachipedza?
Aiwa, tisu varidzi wacho, tisu varidzi venyika iyi. Nyika iyi hatizi kuzozorora kusvika taidzosera kwainofanira kunge iri. Saka
tiripo ipapo tinongoti makwera sei vachipedza.
Aiwa, ndekuno
Mukatibvumidza tinogona kubvisai.
ndichimhorosawo mwana wangu zvipo uyu ari kukoyo.
Budhi, davirai vachipedza vari kuisa maoko.
Tinotenda muri right here mama.
Aiwa, ese machena, ukaona zvadai zvoreva kuti ese machena vachipedza. Isusu tanga tataura nevakomana ava vana venyu ava tikati ngatingoburisai nyaya iyi tichikurukurawo pari pajekerere, asi imi muchitibvumidza zveko ndimi maridzi vemasango, ndimi maridzi vemvura, ndimi munongovhunga vhunga kuti tiwane makwaya ese atingaredza.
Ndizvozvo. Zuva ramangwana izuva rakakosha zvikuru kumhuri yeMDC. Zvikuru sei MDC Alliance inotungamirwa naAdvocate Nelson Chamisa. Ndichiti makadini mhuri yeZimbabwe kwamuri kumativi mana enyika, ringave lichiona njani mutwakazi womuhle magumbi nonga mane omuhlava. So vanhu vanofanirwa kuuya neuwandu paTwitter Spaces apa muBlessing tichitaura nenhoroondo yemusangano. Vazhinji havazivi kuti musangano wakatanga sei. So mangwana kunenge kuti hakudani anonzwa.
Hakudani unonzwe.
Yes, I think 22 years tiri mustruggle. Mwari vakuda kuzotivhurira manje masango. Muri kuona zviri kuitika zvese izvi, ndogara ndichiudza vanhu kuti zviri kuitika izvi musafunganya stereki nezviri kuitika izvi. Mwari vari kusudurutsa vanhu vasingafaniri kuti vapinde kuState House naAdvocate Nelson Chamisa. Mwari ari kuda kuti kupinde wakachena, kupinde vanhu vane people at heart, kupinde vanhu vasingadi pfumba muromo, kupinde vanhu vanoziva kutambura kwevana veZimbabwe, kupinde vanhu vari genuine, people who are principled, people who stand by the people, not people who stand by material things. If you look at the people who went with Monzora, don't think they want Monzora. They are the people vanofunga nematumbu. Havafungi nebrain, but vanofunga nematumbu. People who are selfish. People who do not even think about mbuya vaya vari kukuzumba marambapfungi, vari kutambura, vari kunonga svosve nemukanwa nemuromo. Handiti? So tomorrow is a great day. It's like it's an independence for MDC. We know there's a lot of things that happened. So mangwana ndinenge ndichiparura history yemusangano. Maringe nekwatakabva. Ndichitaura ndiri from the labor perspective. Vanova ndivo mai vemusangano. So kunenge kuri lit.
Ndozvevechidiki, makomrades echidiki. Kune kuri lit. Yes, tomorrow's program we should all join. It's going to be a very great program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you go, I always say I don't want to cry. Nona,
Mm.
the people like Sissy Barbara when they speak. I like the idea that you were following my previous Sissy Barbara Tatsiripa Change Radio few minutes ago. Pane mukadzi anga achitaura nyaya yake, umwe angachiti ndeyekunyeba, umwe angachiti ndeyechokwadi. But kana ukateerera nyaya ukainzwa, you don't need anyone to tell you kuti it's a truth story or it's a lie. Zvamataura Sisi Barbara,
Mm.
you always teach us. Handikokoni kana muchitaura because ndoziva kuti munenge muchitaura chokwadi.
Yeah.
And dzimwe nguva tinononoka kureacta because tiri vanhu, but chokwadi tichichiziva ndongoti dai Jehovha, dai vanhu ruzhinji rweZimbabwe rwamuka rwaona chiedza. Dzimwe nguva sezvakaitwa naJesu zviye, kana uri kwako hapana kana unokuteerera because vese vanoona nhema mauri, vese vanoona kuti uri kungwavha, uri kuda kuita mari navo. But chakakosha mwana mai vangu, rudo, regardless kuti uri kuripira kupi rudo irworwo, but chakakosha rudo. And I'm open for love, unconditional love, not zvebonde, but kudanana, kokudanana, kokuremekedzana kwatinoita isusu pachedu pachivanhu. Muriko Sisi Barbara?
Yeah, ndiripo.
I respect you. You have always guided my path. Hakuna kwandinoenda ndisina imi vakoma, kana kwamusina kuti mwana wamai vangu apa ungagara kana tungarara. Ndinokudzorerai zvose, itaiwo madiro enyu, itaiwo madiro enyu, itaiwo madiro enyu. Chakakosha mwana mai vangu rudo. We can do anything we want to do in life, but kana tisina rudo hazvibetseri.
Yeah.
So I need you to guide me. Ndakukuradzikai kuti ndiwane kurara. Maybe I can just go through people's comments. Luta continue, comrades. Itaiwo madiro enyu, imi makandipa zvose izvi. Madiro enyu, itaiwo madiro enyu, itaiwo madirwa yenyu. Zvikanzi chamu, shirikadzi dzinodya chamu. Shirikadzi dzinodya, you guys hamuvote. That's your problem. You only know how to run your mouth or social media beds, Facebook champions. What can we say to this person? See, Barbara. See, Babsy. Hello. See, Barbara, are you there? Hello.
Hello, Linda Mobi.
Yeah, it's me and you now.
Okay. So Twitter say to end the do broadcast and it.
No, it's fine. What we have discussed is, or what we wanted was to bring in our prospective leaders to come into place and say what they gonna discuss tomorrow, which is okay. I can give you a little bit of music before I go. Leader Stella, what do you think about our immediate situation in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, our situation is it's gone on for too long, and yeah, the time has come now that things have to change. The winds of change are blowing across southern Africa. So we saw what happened in Malawi, we saw what happened in Zambia, and I am confident that the same is happening in Zimbabwe in 2023. So I'm very optimistic.
What we want to do is to set a record. So, if these people are, so what can we do to make things right?
I think, mobilize people to go and vote. And we go out in our numbers to vote as they did in Malawi, as they did in Zambia. And then we stand and defend our vote. Make sure we don't leave any room for rigging.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Listen to this song. Can you hear it?
Yes, I can hear it.
Sorry. It's all
That you can say.
years gone by and still words don't come easily.
I'm sorry.
sorry. Forgive me. It's all
That you can say.
years gone by and still words don't come easily. Like forgive me, forgive me. But you can say, baby,
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 can I hold you tonight?
Maybe if I told you the right words at the right time, you'd be mine. I love you. It's all
That you can say.
years gone by and still words don't come easily. Like
Matilda.
Oh, that's a lovely song. Beautiful song.
Yeah, we can close the.
All right. That will the end broadcast.